Hi, folks. You probably read in the paper or heard about the government suing me, Mel Fisher, and my company and trying to take away 3 of my salvage boats. We're going to have a little discussion about that Wednesday night at 8:45 on June 3rd. So listen in and hear about the controversy.
If you're a resident of the Florida Keys, this issue will eventually affect you.
Welcome back to Sheriff's Spotlight. Alex Vega is with me here now. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're a fire captain here in Key West, and you're involved in sort of an interesting project. Along with being a full-time fire captain, you're also very interested in a renovation project. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, I'm involved in the renovation of Fire Station number 3 on Grinnell in Virginia. It's the oldest active firehouse in Florida. And I've even made a postcard to try to get recognition on it. I don't know if you could see it.
Okay. It really does have a lot of historical merit.
Sure
Now,
does.
you did some research when you folks became interested in renovating it, and there's several other firehouses in Florida that are old, but aren't
Right.
that old.
Not that old, right? Jacksonville has one that's 1909, and Live Oak has one 1909. There's a couple close ones, but so far we're the oldest.
Now, firefighters and emergency medical technicians work real closely with law enforcement, and I can remember more than once being enormously grateful to see you coming. You have some footage of fires that have happened in the last couple of years,
Right.
and then later on we're going to show some fires that happened really a number of years ago. Let's show this, and we'll talk over to share with the folks at home what
Okay.
we're watching. Now, which one is this?
This is Poorhouse Lane. It was in March of '91.
Yeah, that's blazing. Now, you know, we've talked off camera about how much more training goes into being a full-time firefighter, and there's a very good reason for that. This obviously is a dangerous situation.
Yes, see the houses, how close they are. If you don't, stop that fire there, it can take 2 or 3 houses.
Now, how many firefighters responded to this particular?
Well, you have the 2 stations and a ladder truck from number 1 station on Flagler. So we probably had about 10, 12 guys respond to this.
The danger in Key West is that there's so many wooden homes very
Right.
similar to this.
Right. This is the El Bonnet, which was 1985.
Okay. Now, did this bleed over onto other homes, or were you able to
yes,
contain
there was
this
as
one?
you can see, this was out of control here for a little while, but we stopped it. They had an apartment to the back of it that got burned up. That's what it looked like when they got there.
Oh, something out of a horror movie, isn't it?
It was pretty hot. You see where they're standing there? The heat was. The telephone pole was already starting to smoke.
It would seem like it would be tough to prepare someone to enter a scene like that.
Well, a scene like this, you just have to kind of surround and try to keep it from, spreading.
Okay. Was any of that salvaged, Alex?
No. That was a complete loss.
Okay. You've got some great stories about fires throughout the years in Key West.
Okay, this is the Pegasus. I'm sure everybody remembers that one. That was January of 1990.
Now, did that burn to the ground?
No,
Alex?
no, they restored it. It looks better now than it did before the fire.
Now, there was a time in Key West history where volunteers were called upon
Yes.
widely.
Yes.
And that there was a method of communicating with the volunteers.
Right, they had the old fire bell in the cemetery, and plus you had the fire alarm system in the firehouse that would ring in accordance with the bell. They would tap out so many tones, and everybody had a list at home, and they would know where the fire was, so everybody used to go to the fire. And also they had a code like to call out, you know, volunteers also.
It must be tough too, Alex, because as we all know, a fire draws crowds, and
Yes.
that's probably the last thing you need when you're combating a fire, is to also have to do crowd control.
So we have Key West Police takes care of that.
Is there always enough water, or does that become a problem?
It used to be a big problem, but now we're upgrading the system a lot. But in certain areas in the city, we still have problems with water, with the mains and stuff.
You know, we hear so many myths about fire, and for years I heard that you could tell by looking at the color of the blaze how
Yes.
heated
Right.
it was. Is that true?
Yes. Different colors of the blazes, the smoke, different colors of smoke. It's real black smoke, you know that it's some type of oil, petroleum product.
Now, danger is a real concern, and of course safety is foremost in your mind, and as a fire captain you're responsible for other folks' lives also.
Right.
Training has become much more sophisticated and deals with some of these issues.
Right. We have probably 2 to 4 classes a year from the State Fire College in Ocala, and we do a lot of training through that college, and plus our daily activities also. We have a training schedule that we follow, keep up with all the new methods and everything that comes out.
Now, grants are available for renovation projects, and you have your eye on one.
Yeah, we tried to get one back in March or April, I think it was, and I think we missed it by one. It was like they chose 28 projects throughout the state, and out of 58, I think it was, and we were 29, so we just missed it. But next time, we'll get it.
Okay. Now, you'd be willing to hear from people in the community that are interested in either helping out
Sure.
with this project?
Anyone who has photos of fires or any type of fire department related material, written stuff, old newspaper articles and stuff like that, they can contact me at the Firehouse at 292-8242.
Okay, and speaking of photos, we're going to close
Okay.
the show tonight with some that you brought. Maybe you can help me identify these photos. The black and white ones, of course,
Okay, that's the
have
Strand,
great historical
the Strand
value.
Theater on Duval, 1934.
Okay.
Okay, and that's the Caroline Lowe House on Duval also. That was in 1956.
And that was actually named after Caroline Lowe, who lived there?
She lived there. She was the rebel sympathizer who used to wave the rebel flag on top of the Okay, and this is the Key West Fire Department back in 1898 behind the old City Hall.
Oh,
That's the old steamer.
horse-drawn.
When the Flagless Railroad came to town, they had a big parade in 1912, and they were part of the parade.
Incredible.
Okay, and these are recent fires. This is what the Pegasus looked like when they first arrived.
At that point, was it out of control, Alex?
Yeah, for a little bit, but they knocked it down pretty quick. It was a big concrete structure. If it would have been a wooden structure, then you would have had a lot more to worry about. But, and this is the old Cuban Club on Duval. A lot of people remember this one too.
Mm-hmm. And I can remember in the 60s when there was a fire in Key West, it really was a social happening. Everyone from all over town
Would go to the fire.
would
right?
descend upon it. And of course, that wasn't such a bad thing then because you were calling on volunteers.
Not really calling on volunteers, but a lot of times people would help with a hose and pulling, the lines and stuff, which sometimes would help when you get tired fighting a big fire like that.
Okay, are you in a recruiting mode right now for firefighters?
Not really, but
We
anyone
talked
who
a
wants
little
to
bit
do.
about the requirements, and boy, they've sure gotten stiffer over the years.
Yes, you have to go to Ocala. 320 hours now. It's 8 weeks training that you have to go through before you even get hired. And then once you're hired, you have to have 16 weeks of EMT training. And I think we have 15 EMTs on the department already.
You also are very proud of the fact that so many of your firefighters are college graduates.
Yeah, there's 12 of us, including myself, that are
That's
college
great.
graduates.
Yeah.
So the training has improved and the schooling has improved.
You want to give that number one more time in
Okay.
case there's someone out there with great photos or maybe some tips for you on
Okay.
how to get this grant?
292-8242. Fire station number 1. Okay, now, I want to thank Dale McDonald for helping
Okay.
me put this video together of the fires. Okay?
Great video. Thanks for joining me this
Thank you for
evening
having me.
on Sheriff's Spotlight. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.
I feel PCI's Channel 5 brings our community a little closer together.
Many find it hard to believe that we produce 16 live shows every week. I call this grassroots television because it's produced by just a handful of dedicated producers and technical people. Did I mention that we've been doing this for 10 years?
At PCI, we're proud of our community, and we show it.